Hello, George. Readers of the Network Marketing Magazine, hope you have had a great month. George, I cannot believe it's 12 years. It seems like just a couple of summers ago, I met you for the first time at the Seminar of the Century event that we had in Lexington, Kentucky, and I know you remember that. We had Big Al was there, and Jeff Combs, and a lot of, big names. It was a great event, as you know. And I remember meeting you at the barbecue at my home. And then the next time, maybe a month or two later, we were at Art Jonak's event, either in Dallas or Houston, and I met you again, and it seems like we've been friends ever since. So I just want to congratulate you on what you've done the last 12 years, your dedication, your belief in the network marketing business model and the people within it. You've always been a sense of encouragement, and I sincerely appreciate it. So this month, what I wanted to do, and I thought might be a little bit beneficial for some, is just to kind of talk about this whole concept of 27%er, because I know you and I have talked about it many times over the years. And I think it was 1994, maybe 1995, I wrote a book called, a booklet. We don't sell it, but well, it's at MLMmasses.com. MLMmasses.com. It's called Why the Masses of Network Marketers Are Frustrated, Confused, and Don't Have a Clue what they're doing. And there's about 2 or 3 major paradigms, major shifts that have happened, in my opinion, in the industry since I started in 1980. And when we started, network marketing, and I still believe it is today, was a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. So the focus was building people, developing people, help people get control of their time management, help people get control, teach how to set goals for many people the first time in their life, and the list goes on and on and on. But it was all about personal development, personal growth, build people, people build the business. And there wasn't, hundreds of companies, and every company was very tight cultured, which is a good thing. And many companies were very systematic in their development of people, much like a franchise or much like any traditional business would be, to identify the future managers and leaders of that organization or that company. And it's just really common sense from a business perspective on the development and growth and promotion of people. And that was the world. And certainly not every organization and certainly not every company had that philosophy, but I felt like early on, as back as 1983, that if I'm going to really capitalize the upside potential of this profession, then it must be built upon the development of leaders and future leaders in our organization. And so that was kind of the culture. And then there was, I call it the paradigm shift in '96, when Success Magazine came out with a cover that said, "We create millionaires." And the whole issue just featured network marketers that were, millionaires. And for the first time, a lot of people realized, there's not just 2 or 3 companies that I've heard about. There's 14 or 15 or 18 featured here. And there's a lot of people and a lot of different companies that are having success with this business model. And that's when you first started hearing about recruiting each other or recruiting other networkers who already have the background and whatever. And I could go deep into that. I'm not going to. But that created a paradigm shift, in my opinion, where as a profession, we started thinking more about genealogy list and other network marketers, and how can I bring them over instead of promotion within, development within, rank promotion from within. We started trying to attract people from other companies. And then the final shift, without question, was the internet. And the internet brought a whole different element of something for nothing, what I call foo-foo dust, to the profession. And a lot of people really thought that they were just going to be able to sit back and send out emails and build a huge organization. And now we're dealing with a lot of marketing funnels and social media and creating your following, and there's a lot of philosophies out there that I agree with as it relates to traditional business. Yes, people do want to do business with those they know, like, and trust, no question about it. And that's a good formula to pick your dry cleaners. It's a good formula to pick your insurance agent, maybe even your real estate agent. But in network marketing, it's about the development of teams. It's about building teams. I wish we called it team building marketing instead of network marketing. So now we're in a world where we have all these funnels and this, and you got to do that, and the masses are just more confused than they've ever been. In 94, 95, when I wrote Why the Masses Are Frustrated, Confused, and Don't Have a Clue What They're Doing, I thought they were confused then. They're really confused now. And their attention is being, they're distracted daily with somebody that's going to tell them what they want to hear on their cell phone so they can sell them what they want to sell them. And I just believe that as a profession, we have to go back to the fundamental foundation if we expect to lead the entrepreneurial revolution that's happening around the world, which we should be at this point. And that's just my belief. So the reality of the market, the reality is 70% of the people that enter the network marketing profession are going to fail. They're going to fail. There's no way around that. It's just the way it is. And I'm not going to change it. The Network Marketing Magazine's not going to change it. The newest, hottest book that hits the profession's not going to change it. Nothing's going to change that, because they are victim to their program perceptions that were created most of the time before they were 12 years old. And they don't really believe, they hope, but they hope when they buy a lottery ticket. But they don't believe that they can move forward, progress, and become the leader. They don't believe that. So they're stuck in that. And it's sad. It's very sad, but it's just the way it is. 3% of the population have the attitude, get out of my way, I'm going to go make it happen. And you can look at the top of virtually every network marketing company in the world, and you're going to see what I call 3%ers. And 3%ers, there's six basic mindsets that we see in the market today of 3%ers. And 3%ers enter the industry with an extra dose of something. It may be credibility in their community. It may be a drive for money. It may be I call it the Elvis syndrome, where they just like to be in front of a crowd and perform, or in front of a video camera. That's just something within them. It could be they're just Mr. or Miss Lovable. They just love everybody. They appreciate everybody. They hug on everybody. They wouldn't say a cross word to anybody, and people just love them. And there's a couple more that I'm not going to get into, Mr. and Mrs. Social Media, but I'm not going to get into that. My point is, they enter the profession with an extra dose of something. And they have that strength. And that strength is always the weakness, because what happens, and we've seen it more times than we all have. We've seen it. It's norm. Norm is 70% peak the day they join. That's the height of their career in this profession. 3% row. They just row. They take their extra dose of whatever and they row with it. And they get down the road, and usually it's a year, year and a half, 18 months or so down the road, they turn around. After they've been rolling, they turn around and they can't find their group. What happened to everybody? Where are they? And so I realized early on that, in my opinion, and still today, the key is to develop the 27%, not the 3%, not the 70%, the 27%. And how do we do that? You do that very systematically. You do that by focusing on building people, and people will build the business. Because in the rub that we're in right now is these 27%ers, you talk to them every day, I do too. They don't know who should I follow, who should I listen to, because this person says this, and this person says this, and that person says that. Who should I be listening to? And they're confused. And what does a confused mind do? Nothing. Nothing. So I believe leaders have to really grasp this, because just going out and trying to find other 3%ers to join your team, and you got revolving doors happening with the 70%, and you got a frustration going on with the 27%, it's not healthy for the profession. And I know you know that, George. And I can walk into any crowd, 1,000 people, 10,000 in the room, and I'll say, how many people have been here, have been involved in the profession 10 years or more? And it'll be about 50% of the crowd, 10 years more. I say, how many of you have been around 10 years or less? And it'll be 50% of the crowd. So where's the 3 to 9 year people? Where are they? Where's the future leaders of this profession? Where's those that are coming down the road, growing, learning, expanding their skill sets, their mindsets, learning how to manage their time, learning the entrepreneurial activities that it takes to really become a real leader in the real world? Where are they? It's minuscule. So because of that, George, I so applaud what you're doing. I know it's so necessary for the future of this business. And I hope that your next 12 years, I appreciate the previous 12 years and what you've done and how you've done it and what you're doing and the message. And I hope the next 12 years are 12 times greater.